Yo, Shalom. All praises to the Most High. Yehovah, Yehoshua. This is sounds from YYBY. So, let's get into it, right? Let's enjoy this little moment. So, before I go through my little list and everything, I want to say, I remember when I was doing the analog stuff and I was just learning, and there was people around me who knew it way more than I did. They used to always, I used to learn from them and everything, right? And it was like me as a person, I kind of knew who I was. I was more of a simplicity dude. And when I was using analog, it was like certain things that I was like this don't make sense. Why should we do this and why should we do that? If I'm using the MPC, I'm like, this is my limitation with sounds. Like they should put something with memory in it. And then that's when they came with the thing with memory in it. It was like everything that came out, I was always mentally a step ahead, but I didn't have the experience with the music, right? I just knew that when I'm tampering with something that this is what I know what can be better and and what's not good, if that make any sense, people. So when I first experienced the digital stuff, when it first came out, and there was reasons, like I always told people, it was reasons at that time. I just knew it was right for me. I didn't know what the hell. As soon as I seen it, I knew this is where I wanted to be in the digital world. When it was first presented to me and all my friends, I knew this is where I wanted to be for many reasons. And in my mind, when I was using the analog stuff, I couldn't really explain those reasons to a certain extent. You feel me? Like I couldn't really tell. I can give ideas what things should be, but a lot of the times you don't know what something need or what something don't have until you start messing with it. At that time we didn't know about the digital stuff. We only know about analog. So this is our way of thinking at that time. So, but when the digital came out, it seemed like all these things clicked in my mind why I like the digital stuff. And I think it seemed like I guess because of the character the person who I am. I guess the way everybody different. Some people, I'm a simplicity guy. I like things straight to the point. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go through this list in a fast way I can. And hold up, this is not about this and analog, because at the end of the day, I tell people, man, analog, like I said in my old video, I was talking about the analog equipment, that it has its own unique style and feel, and everybody got reasons why they use it. But this is my reason why I love digital more than analog. Now, should people stop using analog? No. It's kind of like you can't get rid of the beginning of something where it started. It's hard to get rid of it. It just, it will always be there. It's some things you just can't. You can't just try to obsolete it. It will always be there. You can't get rid of it. And it has a special place in us creators as music. Because you got some people who use both. You got some people who don't care about it no more. The analog stuff, they straight love digital. You got some people who don't like digital at all, and they love the analog. So, but me, I love the digital more than the analog. So now, one of the things I like the most is that when it come to EQs, you have more EQ bands. You have way more EQ bands. You can do whatever you want to do in the EQ bands. You can do whatever you want to do in so many ways and so many forms. You get what I'm saying? With a lot of the analog stuff, what you got, that's it. You can't add nothing, no band to it. You can't take no band from it a lot of the times. Like that's it. What you see right there is what you got. So more bands. Number two, when I'm using plugins, digital, it's more settings. It's more settings. Basically presets. It's presets in all the digital stuff. You really can't save presets in analog stuff. You know, a lot of the straight analog stuff where it's just knobs, you can't save no presets at all. You know, like now if you bring it to the DAW, you know, and they got special things, hardware that can read your analog stuff, you can save a preset then, but you still using digital. You know, you get what I'm saying? So you can save presets. So certain things that you did unique with an artist, you can always go back to it. Number 3, when it comes to digital plugins, I can use mono. I can do it on mono or stereo. I can use mono or stereo as a plugin. When you dealing with analog stuff, that's a limitation. You know, what you got is what you get. What you get is what you got. You know, if it's stereo, that's it. You know, it's no way of really changing that around. Number 4, less power. With analog stuff, it takes more power. It takes more electric power, take more resources in the house. Your bill's got high as hell. That's why they're gonna charge your arm and a leg and way more. Where when you're dealing with digital stuff, it's less power. It's compact, way less power when you're dealing with plugins. You don't have to worry about all that. Number 5, I can pack it. I can pack it and hop on a plane. It's already on my laptop. Put it boom, 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 boom. When you can't bring those racks with you. If you bring those racks with you, you're gonna pay an arm and a leg to put those things on the plane or whatever it is. You're gonna have a boxes, all type of racks, just rolling with wheels on it. You know, if that's worthy, cool. So that's a limitation. You know, most people ain't trying to do that anyway, because time is money, and you're trying to get to point A to point B. So small packing, and you can pack less and still get the same power. You know, if y'all understand what I'm saying. So number 6, it goes back to like when I was talking about the presets. You know, the DAW can remember my settings of my plugins. When I close it and open it back up, it remembers my settings. You know, I don't think for sure when it comes to analog stuff, it remembers your settings when you're dealing with certain Tech EQs and compressors, you know, and stuff like that. When you open up that song, it don't remember those settings. You have to, you know, once you use those settings, it's kind of like what they call it. It's kind of what I was going to talk about later on. It's more like it's printed in the audio files. It's printed. And once it's printed, you can't take it out. So with the digital stuff, remember your settings. You can change the settings. You go to something else. You can reverse, go forward, save it, close it, open it back up, change something again. Number 7, save you space in the studio. So all that space, the digital stuff the analog stuff is taken up, you can save all that space for something else. Better chairs, better other things, more comfort. I'm a simplicity guy. I don't like clutter. I don't like things squeezed in on me. I don't like a whole bunch of unnecessary things that I don't use and I don't need. I don't need, you know, I don't want it. If it's something that I don't need, I'd rather give it away or sell it. And I get it. Some people would say, well, you never know. You might need it in the future. Well, if I need it in the future, then I get it. When I say I don't need, that means that I know that me doing my jobs and me doing my sessions and recording, mixing, and mastering, I know I would not need this. You know, and anybody who come in and say I need this or want that type of plug-in idea, that's very frequently. So we can get it or rent it out or whatever it is, or get any analog stuff. But for it just to sit there and just take up space and dust when it's not usable, I don't need it. I only require plugins and things that I know I'm going to use all the time. You know, and guess what? Even if it's a plugin inside my DAW, we all have this. We have plugins that we don't use all the time, but it's compact. I can hide it. It's right there. It's not taking up space. It's not cluttering nothing. It's not taking up dust. It's not taking more electric power. It's not doing none of those things. It's not in a situation where people will spill something on it and damage it and it costs an arm and a leg to get it fixed and repair it. Maybe it might be an old, device where it's hard to get. And once it go down and tear up, you got to spend an arm and a leg just to get it again. When it comes to digital, you can repeatedly get it again because it's digital files. You can download it again. You lose the files, you can get them again, download them again. So this is deep. It gets deeper and deeper with this type of technology. Number 8, it costs way less. It costs way less. It's just that simple. Analog stuff costs way more. Even though it's unique, it got its own unique sound, which is a fact. Always, when it comes to analog, have their own unique sound, but it costs way less, and the average Joe can't afford it. That's why people back in the day, in certain nations of people, like black people, we didn't have big studios and all that because our people didn't have the money like that. We didn't have the resources. We couldn't buy just an EQ, spend $5,000 on an EQ. You need a lot of things to build a studio. So just to have the money to build a whole studio, you couldn't afford it. All right. A digital is more of a clean sound. Digital is a clean sound. Yes, some people want things to sound like analog. And you have plugins that kind of, they try to make the sound like the analog stuff. But it'll sound like it, but not exactly like it. I'm sorry. Maybe they get better with the technology in the future, but analog is analog. When you get that type of warming sound, that's it. If you want that vibe, you got plugins can make it sound close to that. That's cool too. This is part of the creation, but that's dope with digital. You still can make it sound like something that's in the past. Analog, you can't get analog stuff and try to make it sound like something in the future. If they do that, boom, that'd be crazy. Digital plugins supports automation. Yes, supports automation. That's very deep and that's very tough. And we know how important automation is and how much it come in handy and how much we need it, right? Number 11. What to say? This is what I was saying earlier. You can make a lot of changes with your plugins. When you're using the analog stuff, like I say, it's printed on the audio files. It's printed. It takes a lot to try to change all that stuff from those audio files, man. When you're dealing with the plugins, the digital plugins, you can take something off, remove it, replace it with something else. Another effect, boom, 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 and save that music file. Go back, open it up. That's why I tell y'all from back in the day when I first experienced the digital stuff, even with the smartphone, when the smartphone first came out, the first Google one that I bought, Android, and I already knew what I was dealing with. Like I knew, but I didn't know. I didn't know exactly everything that it can do, but when I saw it and I saw the capabilities, I knew, yeah, that's what I wanted to be. It's like knowing something, but you don't know everything about it, but you know that's what you want to need because of the way you think and the way you are and the way you carry yourself and the simplicity of the way your mind thinks. It's kind of hard to explain, people, but I think some will get what I'm saying. I really think that. Another thing is inserts. Your inserts can be rearranged. I could add an insert, a digital plug-in on an insert, and I could change that to something else. Same thing I was saying earlier. You could change it or move it around. Boom, boom, boom. When you're dealing with analog plugins, it's like that stuff is out the window. You can't do all that. You cannot do all that. Again, even though you can get that special dope warming sound with analog, but guess what? You can get a lot of warming sound with digital if you just put more the low on it. If you put a lot of the low on it, you get that type of warm sound. I kid you not. Number 14. Is this 14? 11, 12. Your 14. Your digital plugins lock to the tempo. Yes, lock to the tempo. With the tempo that you have in that beat or that song you're recording, it locks to that tempo. You got certain delays and certain plugins that have tempo sync. And when it syncs to it, that delay would play perfectly with that music. Compared to analog, you gonna have to do a lot of turning and tweaking more. It's cool, but again, I'm just telling you the reasons why I like digital more, digital plugins more than analog. And the last, number 15, wear and tear. Digital stuff do not wear and tear. You get bugs, that's an update, but you don't lose the value. You don't lose the value of it. How you lose the value on physical stuff, the wear and tear of the knobs, things breaking, things tearing up, ripping apart, the dust destroy your stuff. People spill things on it. You don't got to worry about wear and tear on your plugins. They always look good. They always look 4K HIDPI. It's always a good quality. It's always the same sound. You don't got to worry about distortion or popping sounds when it comes to it. You just got to worry about that on your computers. Now, is this a battle between analog, physical stuff, analog and analog plugins and digital plugins? No. It's just telling you what YYB, what I love the most. Because I use the analog stuff and why I went away from less analog stuff much as possible. Now, it's some things you can't get away from the physical. And I don't think in my mind it's a possibility to get away from it. And I don't think that they should create something in the future to get away from these certain things. An example, like studio monitors, as you can see right here in the back, physical keyboards, MIDI controllers or regular keyboards, recording mics, it's a lot of physical things that it's impossible to just, even though they make software that make your music sound like different varieties of mics. But guess what? You still need a mic just to do that in the digital form. You get what I'm saying? So some things physical you still need, period, when it comes to music. You can't run away from it. Headphones, you still need headphones regardless of the fact. I tried the Bluetooth headphones in the studio. The latency was good, but the latency wasn't perfect. I got videos about that. Y'all can check that out. It's pros and cons of that. So when you plugging it directly in, you get better results in your headphones. So again, this is not to discourage people who use analog stuff. What I'm saying is that this is what I love the most. And I like the digital plugins more, man. I still love the analog stuff as far as what it brings to the table, what it uses, but I'm a simplicity guy. Hell, I like compact stuff. I like, less is a lot. Compact it up. Let's make a move. Time is money. I can get on a plane and we can go cross the sea or the world and set everything up and get good quality. That's what I'm about. And so that helps a lot when it comes to putting this music out in society in 2022 today. It means a lot, So yes, fellas who use the analog, do what you do. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, this is what YYB use. Peace.